Hey, Postmaster, what's this?
I don't know. It wasn't here before. Let's see what it is.
My name is Brandon Christopher DeMuro. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, 40299. And this is my confession. If you're watching this tape, I'm probably getting ready to co-host Triple Threat Talk with my two co-hosts, Postmaster Jones and the Doctor. Week after week, month after month, episode after episode, I am constantly living in fear, and I cannot take it anymore. Postmaster Jones and the Doctor like to insinuate that I have man crushes on certain individuals, such as Russell Wilson, Cody Rhodes, and Roger Federer, when the actuality of it is that they are the ones that have the infatuations with certain individuals. Postmaster Jones sent Tony Stewart a Valentine's Day card, and the Doctor tried to connect with Colin Kaepernick on Match.com. It's sad, really, that they have these hidden issues and they are afraid to let their true feelings show. So they decide to accuse me of the things they are too afraid to admit. I mean, it's clear that Postmaster gets giddy when it comes to Tony Stewart. And the Doctor displays extreme jubilation when Kaepernicks. I can't take it anymore. I sit there every week just knowing that I'm sitting there basically lying for them. They abuse me physically, doing such things like this. All I could do was make this video and hope that the world will finally see these two for what they really are.
That rotten son of a... You know... Are you kidding me?
The nerve of this guy.
What nerve? Match.com? What kind of crap is that?
A Valentine's Day card? You can't even afford a Valentine's Day card.
We're not talking about affording anything, but... That's neither here nor there. Let's get back to this video. What was that?
He even forgot RG3 out of his list.
I don't know what he was on when he made this video, and frankly, we're gonna find out.
He might have been on meth.
You just better hope to God that you find him before I do, because if I find him... to the internet sensation known as Triple Threat Talk, episode 113. I'm your host, Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host, Big B, Brandon De Niro, and our good pal, the...
Wait a minute. Well, let's see. He wasn't here last week.
No, he wasn't here last week, but what I'm befuddled on is his hat and glasses are here.
Right. I mean, just... Where is the Doctor?
Where could he be?
Where's that music coming from?
What is that music?
What the heck? It's the Doctor, attorney at law. It's the
Judge Gary Locker presiding.
It's the Doctor's court.
Didn't we have that before in the skit?
Jeremy Lin, yeah.
Yes. The Doc is back.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'm back.
Are you gonna sit down because you're not in the shot?
He's back. He's back.
He's back. And he's dumber than ever.
Whoa. What's cool with the he's dumber than ever stuff?
By the way,
Peon.
Peon.
By the way,
Package handler.
now that we got you here,
Yeah.
buddy,
Yeah. What's up with your
what's up with
honest
this
confessions
honest
going
confessions
on?
going on? What do you?
These are my confessions.
I have nothing to be ashamed about.
You should
What I said on that particular video was nothing but 100% honest and truthful. If you can't accept it, then that's not my problem.
I mean, if you want to continue your female ways that you have, that's fine with me. Make all the videos you want. I don't have a problem with it. But the faster you come out and make everybody aware of the truth, the better off we'll all be.
I agree.
I don't even know what to say right now. It's just it's just one of those things where I saw that and I was sitting there like, what is he thinking about? The show would not go on if we weren't making fun of you. It would stop.
I mean, the thing I was thinking about is like, how much did you have to pay for stamps for that Valentine's Day card? And Match.com costs money.
Yeah, it does.
That may be the case, but what I want to know is what the hell he was doing with his hand under there.
Write your own joke. That's one.
Cheese and crackers.
I said it for you.
In the outtakes, that's what I was saying about it the entire time. Is what is his hand doing underneath
So
there?
he steals it from him.
So I get crucified for being too over the top.
But I think crucified is a bit strong of a word.
Well, that's true. I get thrown under the bus for going over the top.
You got thrown under Jerome Bettis?
I didn't know he was
That's pretty
here.
bad.
The Jerome
He's a big
Bettis.
dude.
He is a pretty big
He's a
guy.
big deal.
I'd rather be trampled by a bus than him.
No.
No, okay.
So now that you got that out of your system, are you fine? Can we continue?
For this week, yes. Next week, no promises.
Now, just keep in mind the WWE's doing it. So the sooner you come out, the sooner we can put you over.
That's right. Because, if you come out of the closet, apparently in WWE, that gets you a push.
Yep.
I.e. Darren
A
Young.
push where?
And
In what?
You get
Just
to move
that.
up. You get to move up.
In what?
You get to climb to the top.
How's the top being on a tag team on Raw?
I don't know. But he's been losing. They haven't really been winning. Now all of a sudden they're beating teams. They're beating,
Millions of dollars.
No.
Millions of dollars.
don't say.
Making moves, making $1 million move.
Fortunately for you, though, Big B is very astute on beating things.
We're 4 minutes and we haven't watched anything about the show yet, so this is going swimmingly well.
This is going fantastic. So with that, let's get right to
Get right to it. We got a bunch of stuff to cover today.
Yes, with user questions from the Bucket 5.
Thank you. I needed that.
I think WWE, speaking of it, might be using Darren Young's coming out to give him and the primetime players a push. Do you think they would have been beating the real Americans normally?
What was that word?
Normally.
Okay.
Normally.
Anyway, I think they would have beaten him regardless of the issue here. Because I just don't think they're pushing the real Americans to a part in W where they're going to be featured as a top team. I think Swagger's still in the doghouse, to be honest, with what he did last year at WrestleMania. And Cesaro, he's coming off a big high, being a huge mid card, and he's kind of getting pushed down to team with Jack Swagger. But as far as Darren Young's coming out, and does this mean anything? I'm getting a push. It does, yes and no. It does. It doesn't, because I don't think the reason him coming out is the reason they're getting a push. But at the same time, the fact that him coming out was such it got so much attention. WWE's using it because WWE's an entertainment business first and foremost. So they see this as this guy's getting so much exposure and so much. They wanted to use him as much as possible to get to feature him. So that's why they're having them win, because any publicity is good publicity. So that's what they're using it for.
Yeah, I think they're using his coming out as a little bit of a reason to push him. He's one of the few athletes in America that have come out, and of course there's been a couple.
Jason Collins.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that I believe that they're using it for better or for worse, whether they should be or shouldn't be, to push him. And I'm not so sure if it's right, just because now other people that aren't gay. Now, what this is going to lead into are people that are saying that they're gay turn out not to be gay, so they can get all this exposure. And then you'll have something like Elton John a few years in the 70s. One day he's gay, one day he's straight, the next day he's bi. that kind of thing. And I just don't agree with, I never have been opposed to gay, if you're gay, that's great. Honestly, I have a few gay friends, I have no problem with it. I really don't. But when you start treating them differently, when you start treating gay people differently, for better or for worse, that's when you get into an issue, and that's when race and sexuality becomes a staple, and that's what draws America separately. Mm-hmm. Because a certain group of people are getting this, and a certain group of people are getting that. And I just don't agree with it one way or the other, for better or for worse. I do want to clarify that, for better or for worse.
I totally agree with the doc.
Short and sweet from Postmaster.
Do you think that Cody or Sandow will cash in the SmackDown Money in the Bank, and do you think they will successfully win the title when they cash in?
I don't think Cody's going to cash in the Money in the Bank at all because he doesn't have it. What I think is going to happen, and again, I don't agree with it at all, because in the history of the Money in the Bank, no one has gotten a bigger losing streak than Sandow. He's not beating anybody. Nobody is losing to him. Ever since he won the Money in the Bank, he's been on a big losing streak. He has not done anything in terms of surprise. There hasn't even been an instance where someone's had a world title match and he comes out just to spark fear or spark interest. That hasn't even happened. It's like he's barely even featured. Is the weird thing. But what I think is really going to happen, because they do this all the time, the guy goes on losing streak, then out of nowhere he just cashes in and he wins. Because the feud that they have going on with Cody and Sandow, Cody's been getting the upper hand on him. So I kind of think that puts him in the spot to be a number one contender, I would think. Right now, obviously, WA is feuding with RVD, so that's going to be a match of Night of Champions. But I think what's going to happen, I think Sandow cashes in on Del Rio, and then Cody Rhodes will be first in line.
I think we just need to put this whole controversy to bed. To be honest with you, I don't think the WWE-Universe cares either about Sandow or Cody Rhodes as a whole. They're a couple mid-carders at best, and I think either one of them, not just one or the other, but either one of them that gets pushed is being pushed way too soon, and neither one of them is ready.
I said last week, I believe I was on the show, that I think Sandow, the only reason he won is because they didn't know who to make the win, because they put all the top guys on the Raw Money in the Bank, and the SmackDown was full of like mid-carders that were all, heels, basically.
The best bet was to go with Wade Barrett, because he's been in the title scene before.
Something happened to Wade Barrett. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he did something backstage. We've seen it before. Or something that happens behind the scenes kind of affects him on the screen. Case in point, Alex Riley, he was getting a huge push. He beat The Miz, which was a huge win for him at the time. There was no one hotter than The Miz at that point, and there was a backstage issue with him and John Cena. He's not even on the TV anymore. So I don't know if something happened to Wade Barrett off screen, if this is affecting, because there was no one hotter. This case in point, there was no one hotter when he left than Wade Barrett. He was primed to be world champion, and then he left, and maybe something I don't know, because he's been really down, really bad.
Which super fight would you like to see more? Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, or Anderson Silva versus George St. Pierre?
Now, I'll say this. Silva versus GSP would be a fantastic fight, two of the best in the history of UFC. But I would have to go with Pacquiao and Mayweather, and the reason I say that is because Silva and GSP, while it would be a good fight, it doesn't need to happen for the UFC to stay alive. For Pacquiao and Mayweather to fight, that is what boxing needs to have happen. I don't know how many people are fans of that watch the show that are fans of boxing, but pretty much a huge majority do not care about boxing at this point. They don't care who Mayweather fights. They don't care about any fight pretty much anymore, because they want to see Pacquiao. That's what they want to see. Boxing has decided not to do it for reasons about testing or whatever it may be. Whatever the reasons may be, they're not going to have this fight, and boxing needs to have this fight to thrive, to survive. The days of Tyson and Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and all those people are gone. Those days aren't around anymore. So they need the two biggest stars to go at it so they can finally put to rest who is the better fighter, and right now it's not happening. So boxing is taking a huge hit, not putting these people in the ring. So I think Pacquiao Mayweather has to happen just for boxing to get relevant again.
I think Pacquiao and Mayweather, and I really don't even think it needs clarification.
I like Pacquiao Mayweather over the other one as well. I like Big B's point in the fact that this fight needs to happen more for boxing and the sport as a whole, rather than GSP Anderson Silva for UFC, for sure.
Here we go. This is the big topic this week.
How do you feel about Ben Affleck being cast as Batman in the Man of Steel sequel?
Okay, so here's the thing. At first, I wasn't too keen on the idea, because again, I am not discrediting Ben Affleck. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's very, very good. I heard he was. I didn't see it, but I heard he was incredible in Argo. He's an incredible director. He's been in a lot of good stuff. He's very, very good. I'm not taking anything away from him. But here's my issue with it, and this is kind of the same thing. And then people that were supporting it. People were comparing it to when Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker, and people were even more offended by that choice than the one with Ben Affleck. I think. And the thing is, when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker, he wasn't really following anybody. Nicholson played the Joker way back when, so it wasn't really in anyone's memory. So then Heath Ledger came along and he nailed it. He was arguably the best Joker of all time. No one's better than him in that role because he was so sinister and so vile. It was a great role for him. As far as Ben Affleck goes, Christian Bale, in some people's eyes, is arguably the best Batman to play the role. So for Ben Affleck to follow that, will he do a good job? Will he do a bad job? I don't know. But for him to follow, in some people's opinion, the best Batman of all time, it's not really going to own up. Because some people view Christian Bale, like I said, as the best Batman. You can throw back an example of Michael Keaton. People view him as the best Batman. Val Kilmer followed him. Was Val Kilmer bad? No. Was he good? No. Because he followed Michael Keaton. So, in my opinion, is Ben Affleck going to be good as Batman? I don't know. He could be good, he could be bad, but like I said, he's going to follow Christian Bale. And the only reason I'm probably going to see it, because there's rumor, and it's strong rumor now, I think it's almost been confirmed, is that Bryan Cranston is going to play Lex Luthor, which I think is a fantastic pick for them to do. But again, it all depends how they do it. Are they going to do Dark Knight or how? It depends, because it's a Man of Steel, so it's the combined two of them. So we'll see what happens. But I'm willing to give Ben Affleck a chance.
I think that arguably Ben Affleck looks more like Bruce Wayne than anybody else who's played him.
I agree with you wholeheartedly about that.
The only other one that I can think of now that I have had a couple days to think about it, the only other one that even remotely looks like Bruce Wayne from the past has been George Clooney.
Yeah.
And
he was awful.
To me, Christian Bale was more, behind the bat suit, and so was Michael Keaton. They were both maybe like how they wore the bat suit. Mm-hmm. What people don't understand is that Batman is two people. Batman is Batman and Batman is Bruce Wayne. And they are one and the same, but you have to have somebody.
They're two different personas.
Yeah, they're two different personas. And one of the things that needs to happen, and this is what I've always kind of thought. We've got a minute.
I'm just keeping tabs.
One of the things that needs to happen in Batman franchises, I think at least, is that Batman needs to be played by two different people. One for Bruce Wayne and one for Batman.
That'd be interesting if they did.
And I think that because the whole voice and everything just kind of changes personas.
Yeah.
And I think that Ben Affleck looks more like Bruce Wayne, but he's also older, and he does have several, he's gotten several, as it were, like scars, emotional scars or whatever, that he can bear to play Batman as well. I think it's a good choice. I'm not down on this choice at all. I think give him a chance.
To your point about two different Batmans, a perfect example how that would work is in Star Wars. There was actually 3 people that played Darth Vader,
Yep.
and it worked out. Look how great that worked.
Yeah, right. Very well.
So with that, we'll take a quick break. I'll respond to this question. We'll wrap up user questions, and we'll move on to headlines right after this. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
James, please don't do this.
I just had the best year of my career. I gotta keep things fresh.
Well, then let's just go to Foot Locker. They got all the fresh new gear.
But I have real talent.
Can I get playback?
Okay.
I wear my shirt open so you see my chest, girl. I work so hard
Is that me?
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. Big B hard at work over there writing some notes for headlines, and of course the doc, Gary Locker. Glad to have him back by our side this week.
Attorney at law.
Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers. And before the break, we were talking about Affleck, or Ben Affleck, as it were, playing the role of Batman. And
Maybe Gilbert Gottfried can play the Penguin.
I totally agree with the doc that you should give him a chance, and that he definitely looks the Bruce Wayne type. And I actually, like I said before the break, I like the idea of maybe possibly being two different Batmans, because in the Star Wars movie, there was James Earl Jones who played the voice.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman, actually, the guy that was in the suit was from Louisville.
Really?
And he was like 7 foot tall.
Wow.
And then the third one was for breathing. That was actually a third person that did the breathing.
Pretty good.
And you see how successful that worked out.
Yeah, that movie did all right. Okay, did all right.
So
A little big thing.
I can see where having two different people play Batman wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Affleck would make a great Batman. I think people are rushing to judgment before they even see or they know the product. I totally disagree about Christian Bale being the greatest Batman because he was so monotone and hard to understand a lot of times that it was kind of hard to really like wrap your head around.
I agree. I agree to a point because I remember when I saw the second one, The Dark Knight, and there were times where he was, having a dialogue with Heath Ledger's the Joker, and he was doing that thing you just did, and people were snickering in the theater.
Yeah, so you can hardly hear
I'll say
him.
this much though: in Batman Begins, he didn't do it that bad. He was fine. I thought where his tone was in Batman Begins, he should have stayed there, and then he got more deeper and more raspy in the Dark Knight. In The Dark Knight Rises, it was a lot of raspy tone, so I didn't really.
I'm like, who's what?
I didn't get why he told. I mean, Batman does have a dark kind of tone to it, but not like that.
Yeah, that was a little.
I agree with that point.
That was a little over the top for sure.
Don't look at us. There are no drugs in here.
I was only born the dog.
And from Against All Odds 20 to wrap up music.
I was going to say before Against All 20. You know what movie I like to see?
What?
I mean, Mike Greenberg mentioned this morning on Mike and Mike. The old kind of Batman, Adam West, like with the updated movie, like, the whap, bam, punch kind of thing. That'd be kind of neat.
I thought you were going to say The Life and Times of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You wonder why I made that video?
What are your thoughts on the fans cheering John Cena being out with injury? And do you see that as disrespectful, or does it show the dislike the fans have for his character?
It's a little disrespectful because they're cheering the fact that he's hurt. That's not really, I don't think that's great. But at the same time, I think he's been with the company so long, and I think that the fans are kind of just tired of seeing him in the spotlight. They wanted to see, obviously, Daniel Bryan get what he deserved, get his moment in the sun, so to speak. So I think that him being out the time that he's been out, they were kind of cheering. It's like, hey, we get to see someone finally different in the title picture. I think that's where I don't think they were necessarily cheering him being hurt, although it kind of felt that way to me. But I think they were just cheering to see something different happen this time around.
That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I've heard some absurd things. People are cheering because they're sick of him being run down our throats. It's the same thing we've said on the show. No, you didn't. You said it was disrespectful.
Well, I don't think it's disrespectful at all. I turned it and said they're ready to see someone else get the time in the sun.
It's not, that means it's not disrespectful at all. The fans are tired of John Cena being run down our throats, and that's what he's been. He's been run down our throats. It's not a matter of disrespect. I respect John Cena for what he did. His promos and his work at Make-A-Wish. That's fine. I don't come off like I respect him just because I don't like him. The fact that I don't like him is not disrespectful. It's the fact that he's been run down my throat like Cody Rhodes has been yours for the last 7 years.
I think you're in the boat with a lot of people that they don't like John Cena the character, but they like John Cena the person.
Right, yeah, I like John Cena the person because as a person, he's really, really fun guy.
One of the greatest people.
He's great people. Anybody who goes out and grants all these wishes for Make-A-Wish is 100% okay with me.
It's crazy because Make-A-Wish has been on for such a long, and they grant wishes for everybody, and he has more than anybody.
Yeah, ever. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's awesome. And I think that for a while, the WWE could have stopped pushing John Cena 5 years ago, and he still would have made all those wishes come true.
Making the money.
But it's the fact of the matter is, he's been run down our throats for so long. People are just happy to see him gone for 4 to 6 months to see what they're going to do. Yeah. And it looks like what they're going to do is stall out with Daniel Bryan, which I hope he gets the championship, because no one wants to see Steve Austin in the form of Daniel Bryan Part 2. Nobody wants to see that.
Your thoughts, Phil?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of people are tired of seeing him, but I also think it was somewhat disrespectful because just like in pro sports, when we have a team that we dislike, we don't want to, just because we dislike the team, we don't want to see somebody get hurt.
Case in point, I dislike the Steelers. I don't want to see Ben Roethlisberger get hurt. I don't cheer for that stuff.
No, I don't. Nobody, unless your name's Michael Vick, I don't cheer for you to get hurt. You know,
I don't even share that.
And but you know, it's just a matter of what the heck was that?
That was weird.
Our timer.
It's just a fact of, like you all said, it's a little bit of both, and I think this break will help the fans. It will help John Cena. It'll help. Now the question is, when he comes back, what will they do with him?
Right.
Will they make him a heel?
Because it's Rumble time, so it's
what
right
will they do?
WrestleMania. Yeah. The one question I have is,
That means they're going to him win the Royal Rumble.
no, I don't think they make him win it again.
I don't think he's going to win it again. I don't think so. I think.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that way down the road. But how's merchandise going to go now?
We'll still buy it.
Oh, people do.
We'll still buy
follow
online.
the
But I'm saying, because he won't have anything new for like a healthy year.
Yeah, it's good stuff for sure. So that wraps up user questions this week. We want to thank everybody for their questions, comments, quandaries, queries, and criticisms.
We want to thank the two viewers that actually,
All two of you.
So with that,
we need more questions from other people.
What happened to Jeffrey Castor?
Yeah.
What happened to James Bond?
What happened to DJ
Becker?
What happened
to Silver Samurai? Whatever his name is.
So with that,
Big Corn?
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to annoy both of you, since you were both.
See what happens if you ask a question. You can become viewer of the week.
You are both this week's episode 113 viewer of the week.
Now, before we get into the headlines,
we have more than two viewers. We need more than two people.
I mentioned this to him a couple weeks. Ago, and I think it's a great idea. So, starting next episode 114, we're gonna do user questions, headlines, wrestling, and after wrestling, before we get to wildcard, we're gonna take live Twitter questions. So that way we can get a bigger audience and people asking questions. So we're gonna live tweet at the end of after wrestling and some live Twitter questions next week.
And also, we have not forgotten about the triathlon or the pentathlon. We're still trying to get a hold of the place that we want to do go-karting. There will be a completion of this pentathlon. There will be. We might have to put the two events that were supposed to be behind it in front of it until we can work out the pentathlon. But it is still going on, and it is tied between me and Big B for the lead right now. And PostMaster does not have a win, but I have a feeling that will change in go-karting. So that
maybe
might happen.
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
I do have a secret, but I can't tell you. We all have
Jimmy's secret.
We all have secrets to the success of our sports. So with that, Big B, since he's back, and it's great to have him back, let's cut it out rug one good time. Break it down.
Wait for him. I'm gonna see what he does with the props here.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
I rolled that.
Woo!
That was the weirdest headline segment ever that I saw.
And the doc is back.
The doc is back.
Gary, attorney at law.
Yes.
Instead of Gary Becker, it's Gary Locker, the attorney at law.
Gary Isaac.
I call 1-800-AX-GARY, and I thank God that
Speaking
I did.
of Daryl Isaac, he's about the same size as Keith. I mean.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes,
he's
not
a
very
small guy.
Yeah, he's a very little guy.
Anyway, new little tidbit.
So with that,
Adam Scott wins the Barclays, the first tournament of the month-long golf playoff championship.
Adam the Scott.
Him and Mr. Woodsy were tied.
Elijah Woods.
they were tied.
For a long time.
Scott pulled ahead. Woods missed the tying putt by inches and lost by one stroke, getting Adam Scott the win in the first tournament of the long month playoff championship at the Barclays. What a beautiful course. I mean, you got the pristine view of the golf course on this side, and on this side you got the Manhattan Harbor with Statue of Liberty on this side. Doesn't get any better. It's an awesome view for sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a good view.
And it was a good tournament. There was a lot of big names there. A lot of people choked at the end that were actually ahead of Adam Scott and Tiger Woods both. There was 3 or 4 golfers that were actually at the top of the heap, and they folded like an Italian beach chair on the last 9 holes.
There's that catch which I haven't heard in a while.
But it was good to see. I think the viewership with people like Adam Scott and Tiger Woods up in the hunt, going for the win no matter who wins, that definitely helps golf. I think a lot of people love to see Adam Scott versus Tiger Woods just for the whole caddy aspect of it, since Steve Williams is Adam Scott's caddy.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
And he's now, he was Tiger's caddy. So and Tiger actually battled back injury throughout the day, and at one point
according to a bad mattress.
Yes, apparently. Apparently his hotel had a bad mattress.
He always has an excuse.
Always.
He's Tiger Woods. Can he say, "Hey, I need a better mattress"?
Or can you just say, "Hey, you don't see."
Hey!
You didn't see Jordan complaining on the flu game. That's all.
He played his best game that night.
His Tiger needs to suck it up and be a man and stop complaining about things when he's on the court. Hey, here's a noble thought. Don't enter the tournament if you're going to make an excuse for your bad play.
See, you know what I think is wrong with Tiger Woods?
Nothing.
He's not watching those icy hot corners with Shaquille O'Neal. He should have had the icy hot.
That's right. He should have had the icy. NFL RG3 ready to go for the Monday night opener.
Or is he ready?
He's getting evaluated by James Andrews.
I think RG3 is going to struggle.
Because
him wearing that brace concerns me.
He's going to struggle until they get that field.
I agree 100% with that.
That plus
that field is disgusting.
He hasn't played any snaps in the preseason.
It's all practice.
And it's been all practice. And you can't tell me because I know preseason games are meaningless. We know that, but preseason game is the closest to real game practice that you can possibly have, and he's yet to have that experience yet this season. And I think for that, the Redskins are going to be hurting, and they're going to be putting behind the 8 ball a little bit because he hasn't had the time, he hasn't had the practice.
And the good news for the Redskins, though, is that Kirk Cousins is no slouch.
No, of course
that's
not.
The good news.
He's not RG3.
Yeah, he's not.
Now he's hurt though.
Yeah, he is
hurt.
He's a little hurt, but when it comes down to it, I trust Kirk Cousins' injury more on the field than
I agree. Because again, like we stated 1,000 times, that field is awful.
Field is horrible.
And Griffin takes one slip on that field, he's done.
Yep.
He's done.
One misstep.
Speaking of missteps,
first there was Mark Sanchez, then there was Geno Smith, then there was Tim Tebow, and now
there was Tim Tebow. I remember Tim Tebow.
And now there's Graham Harrell.
So let's backtrack a little bit here. Graham Harrell was the third string quarterback on the Packers.
Yep.
Lost his backup job to Vince Young. There's a name you haven't heard in a while. So the Packers release him.
Yeah.
And then he's floating. He's just floating, floating out there in free agency. And the Jets go, hey.
Who's that guy right there kind of floating around?
The Jets go, hey, Sanchez is hurt. Geno Smith's playing like garbage. Let's sign Graham Harrell. For what reason?
That's an epic idea. Yes.
Yes, because we're all going to see week 1. That starting quarterback for your New York Jets, number 7, Graham Harrell. Yay. And then you know what's going to happen that's going to happen when they sign him? A couple weeks later, he's going to be floating again. He's going to be floating in free agency.
How about the Buffalo Bills? Game 1, their starting quarterback for Game 1.
EJ Manuel.
No. It's Jeff.
He's hurt.
Tool.
Jeff Tool.
Tool.
Is he week 1 or is he last game of preseason?
No, they've already named the week 1 starter.
Jeff on the Tool.
EJ Manuel is hurt.
Yeah.
Kevin Corn on the Cobb is hurt.
Kevin Cobb is hurt.
And which, by the way, are you still considering going?
Yeah, to Arizona.
We can't go to the Arizona. We go to the Buffalo.
We got to go to the Buffalo now with Rickard.
Rickard, yes. So, so with that, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get more into headlines. We got some MLB news, some tennis talk with Big B. Where's my pen?
And the doc for some reason.
Well, I can't blame him on this one. Some going left covers with NASCAR. Some guy named John Looney Bin. I don't know what y'all were talking about there.
Joe Looney.
And more. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, the Doc, and Big B. We'll be right back.
This show is a loony bin.
The 80s, upon playing Madden for the first time, Darian Foster and Marshawn Lynch Sr. start an epic rivalry that will shape football in the modern era. They realize if they raise sons to be elite NFL running backs, they can use them to school each other in Madden. A unique and highly unorthodox conditioning program.
Hey, don't scratch my car!
Becomes the crux of their training.
Run that bit over! That's that beast mode right there. Hey, push it out. No pain, no man.
Today, the Suns have become the offensive threats of their father's dreams, spinning and juking their way to Madden domination.
He might have learned that from my son. He ain't learned nothing from your son.
A season 25 years in the making. Madden NFL 25. Rated E for everyone.
EA Sports. It's in the game. Official game console of the NFL.
And we're back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host, Gary, the Dr. Locker, the attorney. You're honorable, Gary, the Dr. Locker. The honorable.
Honorable.
And the peon, Big B.
Package handler.
The package handler. Big C. Big C. No, because then everybody will
Little C.
Yeah, little C. Little C, the package handler.
Caesars.
Little C.
So, I heard an idea that was I actually kind of liked it a little bit.
Floating around?
It was floating around. Maybe what New England needs to do is there are two teams out there desperate for a quarterback. All right? They need to trade Tim Tebow to either Buffalo or Oakland.
I'll tell you why both of those won't work.
I would love to hear this.
Okay. Buffalo, EJ Manuel's the future of that team.
Right. Where's he at right now?
Well, he's going to be back. He's going to be back.
Where's he at right now?
He's only injured for the rest of the preseason. He'll be back for a regular
Where's he at
season.
right now?
He's injured.
Jeff Toole.
Jeff Toole or Tim Tebow? That's what I have to ask you.
I'm going Jeff Toole.
Clearly.
Just because his last name. I like it.
Toole.
Jeff Toole.
Unleash Jeff Toole. No. As far as the Raiders go,
It's Toole time. Yeah! Yeah!
Take
yeah.
the Toole, man.
I hope he succeeds now. I hope he succeeds. It's Toole.
Toole time. Yeah!
He scored a touchdown. It goes like
I'm
this.
taking that phrase right now. If anybody uses it, I want $100. Tool time!
As far as Oakland goes, they have somebody in Terrell Pryor. I think Terrell Pryor.
Okay, yeah. Terrell Pryor to
Whoa. I agree.
Terrell
Pryor deserves to play.
Yeah.
He's going to get a chance to audition with the first team.
I think he's a better passer.
And again, Matt Flynn, who signs a big contract. Last year.
Let's backtrack.
Last year, he goes from the Green Bay Packers, signs a big deal to be the starting QB for the Seattle Seahawks, your squad.
Yes.
He gets beat out by some rookie named Russell Wilson.
Some loser.
Loser.
And then they're like, okay, we don't need him, obviously. We got Russell Wilson.
Well, he was back in full season.
Yeah. So they ship him to Oakland. It looks like he's going to be a starting QB there.
He's got the starting job.
And now he's going to lose it to Terrell Pryor.
Tim Tebow. I would play Tim Tebow over Terrell Pryor.
Here's the thing, though.
Terrell Pryor can run.
Yeah, he can really
Run.
And he can throw, Pryor.
He can't mow people over like we've seen Tebow do when he runs.
You know, I like Tebow a lot, but
I do too.
his play recently hasn't been great.
Because he hasn't been given a chance.
He got a chance in the preseason. He didn't do anything.
Does anybody besides you care about preseason?
He's still playing the game. I know the score doesn't matter. You're still playing football.
Dude, even one time this entire year when the 49ers have been playing, have you even heard me on Facebook or Twitter tweeting about the Niners playing preseason?
No, but
because nobody cares.
You're still, even though the score and the outcome doesn't matter, you're still playing football.
When you're playing people like Joe Looney and Tool Time,
yes,
and
$100.
That's $100. Pay up now.
Put it on my tab. We're playing people that I could go out there and outplay. That's who we're
You
playing.
play to win the game. Okay.
Again, in preseason's game 2 and 3, you see the starters play more and more. So the first team is out there for about 2 or 3 quarters.
Yes.
It still doesn't matter because when you have somebody, I think it was Christian Ponder, okay? Christian Ponder was throwing into the second string of San Francisco the other day.
Okay, that's fine.
So that's first string versus second string.
Fine.
Tell me how you are getting an accurate judgment at that point.
You're not at that point.
Exactly.
But again,
and that was in the second quarter.
But again, backtrack a little bit. When Seattle played Green Bay about last week, in the first and second quarter, it was first string versus first string. Russell Wilson and that team versus Aaron Rodgers and that team.
For like a quarter.
It's still there.
How many times, and this I think will really get you thinking, maybe
somebody give me a break.
How many times have we seen it, everybody at the end on a major quarterback like Eli Manning, like Drew Brees, like Peyton Manning? How many fourth quarter comebacks do they talk about? A game is not a game until you take the fourth quarter into effect, because the fact of the matter is we have statistics that measure sole play in the fourth quarter. So you cannot tell me that you can give an accurate assumption at preseason when you are denying the players that fourth quarter, which we have its own stats for. We have our own stats for fourth quarter football.
I know.
Okay, so preseason, you cannot get an accurate judgment of preseason.
No matter how loud you scream or how loud you drill it into my head, I'm still going to be on that pedestal saying, there's times in preseason weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 where the starting players are playing against the other starters.
I'm not denying that.
So that's true. In that sense,
that is true.
You're
but
playing
they're
against
also not playing as hard as they can be.
I don't believe that.
I do. Why would you? Why would you?
Because
you have so
there's players trying to compete for a starting position.
Yeah, and you know what? People are starting. You know, Patrick Willis on the sideline.
Look at Jermaine Kearse for Seattle. He's not supposed to play there because Percy Harvin's supposed to play, but he's trying to prove himself, and he did.
All I'm saying is that there are several people that were not playing. That's all I'm saying. Anyways.
Yeah. No. You two. Wowzer.
Steph Curry signs with the Golden State in the NBA. That was, I guess now they got both Currys.
Here's the thing, though.
Steph and Steph.
This is the first year I watched the NBA.
You got a Curry monopoly.
Right. This is the first year I watched the NBA draft in quite some time because I had a vested interest of Peyton Stephen getting drafted, see who he'd fall. And I was hoping, because Seth Curry, brother of Steph Curry and son of Del Curry.
That's a lot of curry.
It is. It's a lot. Anyway.
Isn't that a Chinese dish?
It's Indian. It's Indian.
Curry.
Anyway, I wanted the Warriors to draft Seth Curry because I thought it would be great to see Steph and his brother play at the same time. And he didn't get drafted. And then it was released last week that he actually signed a deal with the Golden State. I thought that was fantastic. Steph Curry was one of the best players in the NBA, and that was a great run by that they had last year at Golden State.
So Seth and Steph.
And then adding his brother is going to be a great camaraderie for the team. That team's really going places.
That announcer's really going to have a hard time next year.
Curry to Curry, Curry for three.
Steph to Steph, Steph to Steph, Steph to Steph.
It's like three. Steph Curry, Steph Curry.
Matt Harvey injury. He decided not to get Tommy John surgery.
As of right now,
that can change.
But the owner and the GM of the Mets said the decision hasn't been made yet. They were going to wait a couple weeks. Which means
they're going to try to get him to do it.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I listened to Mike and Mike the other day about this, and it's shocking that this happens, but it does. There are kids in high school that get Tommy John surgery because they know inevitably they have to get it anyway. So with Matt Harvey, again, as a Mets fan, I have nothing to look forward to at all. The last 2 years we've had two of the best pitchers in the NL with R.A. Dickey and this year with Matt Harvey. And that's pretty much all we have other than David Wright.
I wouldn't say this year you have the best pitcher, but
no, I didn't say the. I said one. I said one of the best.
I would say Clayton Kershaw.
I said one of the best. One of the best. One of the best. Yeah, Kershaw's ridiculous. One of the best. Anyway, so get this over with so you can come back in a shorter time. I mean, he's going to be out for the rest of the season and possibly next year too with this injury and trying to recover. But he just get it done, because if he prolongs it and something bad happens, he could be done for the rest of his career. Look at Johan Santana. He had it done. He hasn't been the same since. So I say bite the bullet, get it done, recover, and then come back strong and whatever. But if he doesn't get it done, his career could be over.
Here's the thing that I heard the other day. People are saying, why baby these pitchers? Like we used to not have pitch counts. Well, guess what? It just goes to show you how a sport has evolved. Even one like baseball, where people don't want replay because of the tradition of the game. Well, the game has changed when you take into account that people used to throw their arms out 2 or 3 years into their career because they pitch 270 innings in a single year.
Look at Mark Pryor down in Louisville.
It's absolutely ridiculous that people would throw their arm out and then they say, well, baseball hasn't changed. Well, guess what? A subtle change, but a major change at the same time was the introduction of the pitch count, because it has saved a lot of people's arms. Now you have pitchers that are like 18-0. They're playing 18 games, or 18 games a year, 18 to 20 games a year, and they're pitching 6 to 7 innings in each of those games. Much easier on the arm, much easier all around on the pitcher, the physical strains. So the fact, if he doesn't want to get Tommy John surgery, I don't think it's maybe even necessary, depending on the actual extent of the injury.
Yeah, it could be something minuscule.
Right, it could be something that could heal on its own. But what I'm saying is that he has time and he has the medical science if he chooses not to, and if the injury doesn't not necessarily need Tommy John surgery, or he can do this. There are ways around this.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's been a subtle change, and it's just a thing of medicine now that, people are keeping track of pitch counts. Yeah. So
actually, the funny you mentioned that actually Instant Replays could be in baseball. I think 2014 or 2015.
Next year.
Yeah, 2014.
Next year.
Sometimes pitch counts do get a little carried away. Managers and owners and GMs.
Strasburg.
Yeah, like look at Steven Strasburg last year. Sometimes there is a point where you're like, really, they don't need to be limited that much.
Right.
But I agree with the doc. The pitch count is a good thing for baseball, and it's done to help the sport. You don't have Catfish Hunter throwing 300 innings in a season.
That's a great name, Catfish.
Or Nolan Ryan out there throwing 300 innings. You just don't have that anymore. Right. And I think back in the 20s and the 30s, you had pitchers, they would throw for 18 innings in a row.
Yeah, sometimes they didn't even, sometimes in the 20s,
it was the same pitcher every day.
Weeks.
Yeah, it was the same pitcher every day.
That's what we hear a lot of Catfish nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. So, Big B,
I'll tell you.
Take us to a little tennis talk.
Yes. So, in my notes.
Mi amore. Mi amore.
For once, the doc is excited about tennis.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Just pour water on his eye, looks like he's crying.
Bells that ring, ring-a-ling-a-ling, that's amore.
Anyway, so I'll skip that first part of the News Open News, and then we'll save it after break.
Doc has a new crush.
Yeah, we'll save that until after break.
You're gonna make him hold that long?
Yes.
He might not make it.
Voulez-vous avec moi ce soir?
Whoa! Anyone that speaks French, let's turn that off.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Oh, good.
Anyway, we'll skip the Doc's story here in a minute. It happens every single week. Something breaks sports-wise after we done filming the show. It always happens. Sharapova actually withdraws from the U.S. Open due to a shoulder injury. She hasn't had the greatest summer. She wanted to change her name to Sugarpova. That was a big controversy, and now that's a big controversy. And now she's not playing U.S. Open at all. James Blake actually announces his retirement following tennis. He's played a great career. His highest rank was number 4 in the world. So after he loses the U.S. Open, his career is always going to hang it up.
What if he wins?
If he wins, then he wins. But I don't think he's going to win. But yeah, great stuff for James Blake, and definitely going to look forward to him.
Roger Federer.
Federer opens up his 2013 U.S. Open campaign with a good debut. Djokovic and Nadal also win, so we'll see how far they get. Venus Williams actually knocks off the Wimbledon semifinalist Kristen Flipkins, the 12 seed. So that's a good win for Venus Williams. Good to see her playing well in New York. And the big story that happened after I get this story, we'll go to break, and then the doctor can swoon over his new crush. 17-year-old Victoria Duvall captures the crowd last night with an upset of the 2011 U.S. Open champion Sam Stosur in 3 sets. The crowd was absolutely on their feet with this woman, or this kid, winning in 3 sets over Sam Stosur. Her story is incredible. She's a Haitian American. She was over in the country of Haiti, and at the point in time, her and her cousin were being held at gunpoint by an armed robber. Her mother eventually got to get her out. Her dad was actually buried alive, and he was calling the family. He was giving his goodbye, saying, "Tell the kids I love them." And the mom was like, "You're not going to die on me, whatever." They got a helicopter to him. He got out. He lost. I think he broke both his legs, and something else happened to him. It was a really incredible story. You see what these kind of people go through, and she was just so fearful on the court yesterday. She played great, and it's a really great story for the U.S. Open to see someone so young at such a young age pull an upset like this over someone that's obviously a Grand Slam champion, U.S. Open champion like Sam Stosur. Which won the U.S. Open, I tend to doubt it, but it's a great story nonetheless to see someone this age, 17 years old, having great success at the U.S. Open. So,
if you had to pick today, I know the finals isn't until next week. So who would you pick today to win the men's and women's?
You always have to pick. You always have to look at Serena and say she's the best women's player out there, especially since Sharapova withdraws. She's on her path. Azarenka's playing great. She actually beat her in Cincinnati, so that's a huge win for Azarenka. You look at me for it. It's weird.
He's excited.
Yeah, I can tell. He's going to have to wait a minute. But I like Williams. I still pick Williams, but Ezerank is definitely not too far behind him. As far as the men go, no one's hotter than Nadal at this point. Nadal's just playing fantastic tennis on hard court.
I like someone hotter than Nadal.
I like Nadal actually to win. I'm actually going to pick Nadal to win this one. And when we come back, the doctor says why he's like this. We'll be right back here on Triple Threat Talk. Stay tuned.
We really wanted to take a relaxing trip to Florida, just to unwind.
But we can only afford one trip this year, and his high school reunion is coming up in Seattle.
Everyone's going. Then we heard about Hotwire and realized we could actually afford to take both trips.
See, when really nice hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them. So we got our 4-star hotels for half price.
I should have been voted most likely to travel.
HOTWIRE, hotwire.com.
Save big on car rentals, too, from $11.95 a day.
Hey, welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk, and the doc is still...
The doc's in space.
Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with Little C, Brandon DeMiro.
Big B, roll my clip.
What clip? You already had headlines.
There's a clip.
Well, you have to. No one knows what you're doing here, so you have to kind of lead in. This is your story.
I was watching.
You wrote this. You wrote this in.
I was watching tennis the other day.
Him watching tennis?
I had nothing else to do. I was watching.
And
tennis.
Andy Murray was not on.
Andy Murray wasn't on. But there was this Jewel that caught my eye.
I know Jewel played tennis.
Oh, this was not Jewel. This was a Jewel. She was a woman among women, I tell you.
A woman among women.
Oh my lord! Because you get this guy some medical help immediately.
The USA won Christina McHale
from Jersey.
I didn't know. I didn't know New Jersey.
The audience is over here.
I didn't.
Audience is over here. We're not the audience.
Sorry, I'm starstruck.
I'm kind of hard.
I didn't know New Jersey had such beautiful women. I just thought that they were all kind of,
How dare you make fun of Brandon's mom like that?
What?
Where did that came right way out of left field?
I just kind of thought they all kind of looked like you.
Huh? He said your mother's ugly.
What did you say?
Nothing.
What did you say?
He said your mother's ugly.
I didn't say that.
Yes, he did.
I said
he didn't know there were beautiful women that came from New Jersey. Your mom's from New Jersey. Therefore, he's calling your mother ugly.
Christina McHale.
You gonna take that?
I don't care.
Let me see, my sweetie.
Show the.
I have been.
Yeah. Look at this, would you please? My God, are you excited?
I don't know. Hold on. Okay.
So that's
so I have a new crush. This Christina McHale. There is a reason for me to watch tennis now.
What if she's not playing?
If she's not playing, then I won't be watching tennis. So
moving on from the doctor's crush.
Funny story actually about that. Funny story. A while back we had that. This inside
what are
story.
you doing? Give me my notes.
Well, it's actually inside story. We had a meeting at Tumbleweed after we got the website from Terry and Cheryl.
Where did that go, by the way? Nowhere.
What?
That meeting?
Oh well, yeah. So
didn't get very
we were writing on people to interview, whatever. I actually no joke. I actually went on Twitter and actually tweeted Christina McHale about being a guest on the show.
Did you?
I did. I swear.
What did she say?
Of course, didn't respond.
Not yet. Okay.
Gary's took a Match.com for Christina McHale.
Sorry. Yeah.
Actually, he's looking for Colin Kaepernick.
Gary Bear's offline.
Gary Bear is offline. So with that, let's move on to NASCAR coverage this week.
Oh, that's why you got the notes.
Yes.
I forgot what I was so enthralled with Miss McHale.
I know. So some interesting stuff happened this week.
It did?
Yes.
First off, tell me more.
Matt Kenseth picks up the win at Bristol this past Saturday night. His series-leading 5th win. He actually has the most wins this season with 5, surpassing Jimmy Johnson, who has 4. They were tied. So Kenseth now holds the bonus point lead when it comes to the chase with 5. There's 2 races to go till the chase. Atlanta this Sunday night, and then on to Richmond before the chase begins at Chicagoland Speedway. So the only 2 more chances to lock your spot into the chase.
Are you going to races this year?
It's not looking like it, but who says there might
never say never
happen? Right. But after the race was when all the stuff started hitting the fan this week. So we all know Tony Stewart's been out with his injury, and we all know that Tony Stewart is co-owner of Stewart Haas Racing with Gene Haas.
I know that you sent Tony Stewart a Valentine.
Did you send him a get well card too?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Did you put a nice envelope?
I did pink.
Kiss the envelope.
I did.
You like seal it with lipstick.
With Goodyear tire lipstick.
Okay.
Seal with a kiss.
And Sunoco race fuel.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I know.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Does he rev up your engine?
He revs up my engine. Yes. Exactly.
Anyway.
So, the co-owner of Stewart Haas Racing, apparently decided to do something behind Tony's back that has got things in it.
This is a family show, okay?
Stop it.
He's still in Christina McHale mode. Don't worry about it.
So, they decided to create a fourth team and sign Kurt Busch.
Yes! Yes!
Even I'm like, what?
Ultimate heel turn!
It was me, Tony. It was me all along.
So, he says, they asked him what he thought about what Tony said about it, and he said basically, and I quote, if Tony had a problem with it, he could just leave the building.
Ooh. Way to hurt your driver there.
Newsflash, Gene Haas, you were shitty before Tony Stewart arrived. Yeah, I said.
We're going to have to hit him. Okay.
Because he pissed me off something royal.
That's fine.
With his comments.
No one said that before. Not the other thing, but the other one.
And it was utterly absurd in the fact that you said that, because let's just rewind the clock a little bit. Before Tony Stewart got there, you didn't ever have a win. I don't believe. I don't think you did. Yeah, you never won a championship. Since Tony Stewart's got there, all he's done for you is, I don't know, win a title, have numerous wins. He's brought in now Kevin Harvick and Budweiser. He brought in Danica Patrick with GoDaddy. He's bringing in all this sponsorship money.
Danica.
And then you
Christina McHale.
and then you go and do this behind his back. That is crap. That is a load of crap.
Are you still on your soapbox?
And I'm very angry. Frankly, I am not happy with the Haas part of Stewart Haas Racing. And I wish Tony, because he even said, and I quote also, to add insult to injury.
Another quote.
How was I supposed to talk to him when he's laid up in bed with his leg propped up? Go to his freaking house, you jackwagon. It's ridiculous.
You see how hyped up he gets about his man?
Some more NASCAR news.
More? Well, wait, there's more.
Apparently we need not just, you might fit the bill for now, but we need a doctor.
At your service.
First,
I thought you were turning it off.
First, we have Tony Stewart with his breaking his leg. Saturday night, Martin Truex Jr. breaks his wrist while hitting the wall. And now, apparently yesterday, Bobby Labonte breaks 2 ribs in a cycling accident.
Good gosh! They need a physician.
Hospital's piling up here. Labonte, next!
So the NASCAR hospital's getting full. And it's not good.
Do they need an appointment? Do they have an insurance?
They may have to call ahead. Take a number.
They're walking.
It says here that your wrist is broke. Might I inquire how that happened?
His name's not Big B.
My wrist is broken. Take a seat.
And finally, also from the world of NASCAR, it was announced that Harry Scott of Turner Scott Motorsports purchased Phoenix Racing, which is owned by James Finch. So the 51 team was sold to Harry Scott, and actually Justin Allgaier will be making his Sprint Cup Series debut later this year. So good stuff on the NASCAR world. They move on to Atlanta, the fastest mile and a half in the sport, where you can see speeds of 207 miles an hour going off into the corner. So
that's kind of exciting.
It's very exciting. So with that, we move it back to the doc as he has a little more NFL talk.
Baby, roll this clip.
I'm glad to roll this one because it affected you. Not very smart.
Showing that I am indeed unbiased, even though sometimes it appears quite the contrary. That was ridiculous.
Sometimes.
There is absolutely no call for this guy from the 49ers that is trying to make a... Joe Looney is the guy...
Looney Bin.
Joe Looney. He is not as of yet on the active roster, and I could not support this even if he was. This was just uncalled for. You don't go after somebody low when their back is turned. It's just absurd. He said he tried to find Kyle Williams after the play for the Vikings, after the game. Kevin Williams, so I said Kyle Williams for some reason. Oh, because he has to be our receiver.
Yeah.
he tried to find Kevin Williams after the game and say, I'm not like this. I didn't mean to do that. Guess what? Everything else, including the referee. The referees thought it should go.
They didn't call it.
They didn't call it. The only person in the entire building that thought it was a clean play was the referee. But everybody else has a problem with it, and so do I. It's just absolutely absurd. To try to take someone out low when their back is to you. Yeah. Just absurd.
It is. I don't think more I can say about it. It's you know, again, I know NFL has this new rule where like, you know, you don't want to hit, you know, it's getting to a point with the NFL where, you know, you can't lead with the head, but you can't go low. Like, where's, you know, just put flags on them. It's getting to that point. I mean, again, it's hard because, you know, you don't want to hit too high because you might hit their helmet. You might get $21,000. You go low, it's another problem too. So it's like, where is the balance they want? So
it's gonna be flag football soon.
Yeah, we can
national flag.
We can
it's
play.
Gonna be the NFL.
We can play flag football.
Flag football. Yeah. Peyton Siva, and you guys know I lean more towards the blue out of the red and the blue. But Peyton Siva, who I am on record saying I do like as a player and a kid.
I'm definitely going to watch him in Detroit.
Yeah, I think he's a great kid. I think he's a great player. He said something that kind of raised my flag a little bit, raised my eyebrow.
Like The Rock?
Yeah. I didn't agree with what he said. He said, Peyton Siva says UL will be better in the next year. Well, guess what? I think it's kind of hard to be better than coming off of a national championship win where you got hotter than any other team possible. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of great chemistry next year between their players, but it's hard to be better when you just came out on top. That to me is just an egotistical statement.
I agree with I agree with it and don't agree with it. I mean, in terms of the camaraderie, it'll probably better. It will be a little better next year because again, Siva's not there. Russ Smith is the leader now. He's by himself. He's got to really group this team together and try to duplicate what they did last season. And you know, part of it with what happened with Louisville, it was more, not mostly, but a part of it was Kevin Ware. This huge story about this kid and what happened in the Duke game. The whole country was behind Louisville winning the championship. People that didn't like Louisville or didn't really root for them, they were rooting for them because of this story. They wanted to see them win, and they ended up doing that. So they're not going to get any hotter than they were last year. That's just not going to happen. The camaraderie part, I agree with. They could be a good team camaraderie-wise, but as far as successful, they can't get any bigger than they did. They were just one of the number one seeds. They were the number one seed in the NCAA. They were the number one team in the entire tournament. So for them to do any better than that just doesn't seem very
I agree.
possible.
I'm like you. I mean, yeah, it's a little far-fetched to say they will be better, but I do agree with the camaraderie and the teamwork. I think that maybe that's what he was trying to say, but he kind of
Is this Russ's last year?
Yes.
Yeah, this will be Russ's.
Luke Hancock too?
Yes. So I think that's what he was trying to say. Maybe he just want to, because I could easily see them having less than 5 or less losses again.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
But I'm not going to say they're going to win a national title.
No.
And I'm not going to say that they're going to be the number one overall seed or they're going to run through their conference tournament, which they probably will run through their conference tournament.
Again,
they're not the Big East
how
anymore.
they played last year,
but
we picked them to win.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do it now.
So it is what it is.
So I think our top story for probably the 20th week in a row, Johnny Manziel.
Oh God!
Came out today that he will be suspended for half of the game at Rice.
Oh wait a minute! Not half the games of the season.
Yeah. Well, half of the game.
Oh, so basically what you're telling me is it would be like, hey Doc, Doc, look, I know you work 5 days normally, but you were very bad, and instead of suspending you for a whole week's worth of no pay, I'm going to suspend you 2.5 days without pay.
Actually, funny you bring that up. One of my friends actually sent me a message on Facebook. It was tweeted by Michael Kay, one of the announcers for the Yankees, and he said, "Breaking news: the NCAA has decided to suspend A-Rod for 4.5 innings."
And actually, it might not be comparable to without pay because in Manziel's case, he might have got paid.
We don't know. The NCAA is done with it. He denied it, which I don't believe him as far as I could throw him.
So they're suspending him for a half.
Denied. I will say this: there's an interesting aspect here. Isn't it interesting? If I'm a broker, okay, and I say, so Johnny, man to man.
Yes, sir.
Man to man.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you $7,500. You sign the stuff.
Well, what's going on here?
You stay out of this NCAA. You stay out of this.
Excuse me.
So $7,500. Sign some apparel for me. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking
wait a minute.
Yeah, here, and here's some money under the table.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. What is this?
So now that that's done, hey, guess what? Johnny Manziel just signed all this stuff for me, and I gave him $7,500.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What are you going to say about that, NCAA?
He suspended a half a game.
I'm suspending you for 20 minutes. That's it.
No, 30.
So, here's my point.
More like 20.
Why would a broker, after services are rendered, why would a broker... All right, I'll continue my point right after this.
IWU Louisville knows business. Not only did I earn my graduate degree, but I experienced a well-rounded education that benefits me my entire life.
The enrollment experience here is fantastic. They fit it around my schedule. They know I'm working. They know I have a family. They really took an interest in my goals here at IWU. IWU knows business.
Indiana Wesleyan University, Louisville. Change your life, change your world.
And welcome back here on the show. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my co-host Little C, Brandon DeMiro.
Little Caesars.
And the doc, the Honorable Gary, the Doctor of Law.
Attorney at law.
And he was about to lay the judgment on one Mr. Johnny Manziel.
Where's his gavel?
So, Honorable Lockard, please, you have the floor, sir.
So if I'm a broker, if I'm a broker, my issue is this. Why are you outing the guy that did you a favor and signed you $7,500? So guess what? If the NCAA rules that he would be ineligible, your stuff is worthless.
Yeah.
But now it's led to this thing where they're going to suspend him by half of a game. He has to stop signing autographs. And now your stuff skyrockets. Yeah. So you put all your money on 36 black, and 36 black just happened to hit on the roulette board.
Basically.
This is the thing that kind of perturbs me about it. You know, he denies it, so obviously according to him and the people that investigate him for supposedly 6 hours, nothing happened in terms of him receiving payment. But then, you know, NCAA was like, hey, we're going to suspend you half a game because we think something happened, we're not sure what it is. It's like, do you think he did it or not? Why? What message does that send if you're suspending for half a game? What does that mean? Does that mean he did something? Does that mean he didn't? What is the suspension? What is it like? If I asked them, why are you suspending Johnny Manziel for? Why is he suspended for half a game? Please tell me. I don't know. I don't know why.
If they're saying he's innocent, then yes. Why even suspend him for a half of a game?
So there's some sense of doubt that they think when he said deny it. There has to be some sense of doubt because they weren't suspended for no reason.
So what this leads me to believe overall is the fact that the credibility of these brokers is now in question on what they think and what they say happened. Because to me, if I'm going to suspend a kid, I'm either suspending him all season or not at all. And I don't even know if at this point if you're Texas A&M, because it wouldn't be the first time that the NCAA has come out and said 2 years later that something actually happened. Like we saw it with Cam Newton, we've seen it several times with basketball.
Reggie Bush.
We've seen it with Reggie Bush. It wouldn't be unlike them at all for in 2 years to say, oh, by the way, Johnny Manziel was ineligible. Sorry about your luck. You're no longer 12-1 for that season. It's just an entire season off the books.
Right. Again, I don't understand.
I don't get it. I don't understand that at all.
It makes no sense.
I mean, hopefully, I want the story to be over, but I don't think it will be. Hopefully, the NCAA comes out and explains what the reasoning is for suspending them a half. I don't understand a half. If it was a game, I'd be like, okay, or a couple games, whatever. A half, I've never heard of that. A half.
And I have in the pros, but not college.
Really?
Yeah, pros.
I never.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing that really bothers me too. In the event that Johnny Manziel would have been suspended the entire season, as an NCAA, how do you defend your marquee player not being able to play in your marquee game? Yeah. Texas A&M, Alabama at Texas A&M, or Texas A&M at Alabama.
No, it's at College Station. Yeah. It's in Texas A&M.
So how would you have defended that? Your marquee game, they probably would have, because since the NCAA can apparently do what it wants, they probably would have said that he suspended 11 games, the postseason game, but he can play at the Texas A&M and Alabama game.
That's pointless.
Because Because if not your marquee game of the year, which it is being billed as the marquee game of the year, it has no meaning without Johnny Manziel. It has no meaning at all.
You know what, though? I don't think he honestly cares, because that's the season he's gone anyway. He's going to the NFL for the season anyway, so I don't think this whole story matters to him. And it's like, well, I luckily denied it, and they believe me, so
he's only a sophomore. He's got 2 more years.
No, he's leaving.
You have to stay 3 years in college football.
Well,
I don't know. I've heard somebody did tell me.
I think he's leaving.
I think
this is last year.
He's a sophomore, but it's funny how this works out. I've heard several people say this is his last season for various reasons. I've heard somebody say that he started college a year late, which I don't know if he did or didn't, because I've been meaning to look into it, but I haven't been able to yet. He's either started college a year late, or something that he's going to take a year off, or that he might even be going to play overseas or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to look into this matter, though, because I've heard more than one person say that this is his last year. His parents are even saying he's not going to come back for another season.
I don't think so.
He doesn't need the money.
No. Yeah, really.
Anything else on headlines?
That ends headlines. Don't forget, this weekend UK football starts back up. UK is facing WKU. We'll see how Bobby Petrino coaches. We'll see how
at LP Field, the home of the Titans.
We'll see how Mark Stoops takes the UK team. Louisville ranked number 9. Teddy Bridgewater's on Heisman watch. We'll see how the Louisville Cardinals do this season. So.
Yep, should be good. And the games kick off tonight with South Carolina versus North Carolina.
J.D. Von Clowney could be the first defensive player to win the Heisman since Desmond Howard from Michigan. So.
Yep, good stuff. So with that, we send it on over to our good pal in our satellite studios of...
satellite studios?
Yes, the Brian Cannon studio.
Hi, Brian. The Brian Cannon Show, starring Brian
Cannon. With this week's OVW update. Take it away, Mr. Cannon.
Hey everybody, Brian Cannon here with another edition of OVW Mania on Triple Threat Talk for episode 113. And you'll notice I'm wearing my St. Louis hat. I had to do that because we just took 3 of 4 from the Braves, which is Jimmy PostMaster's team. And as of me filming this, we have taken the first 2 out of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds, which is the Doctor's team. So I just wanted to rub that in a little bit. St. Louis has been on a roll as of late. We're back in first place by a game and a half over the Pirates, and now 4.5 over the Reds. So of course I'm really excited about that. But on to bigger things. We're talking OVW because that's what the segment's all about. We're going to go over last week's episode, which was TV episode number 731. Usually I just go over the episode, but I do want to mention one of the dark matches. King Mo returned again and defeated Jesse Goddard. The main show itself started off with Jay Bradley coming out, and he says that in the Bible it says you're supposed to help those who are weak and powerless. And that's what he tried to do by throwing a party for Jamin a couple weeks ago. But Jamin decided to embarrass him. He said, and then the week after, made a parody out of his good-hearted intentions and said that he knows why he did it. He's an emotional dwarf, that he's beaten 3 times and he's just afraid of Jay Bradley. Of course, that brings Jamin out, and Jamin says that, how about we do this one more time at September 7th, Saturday night special for the OVW heavyweight title, and he'll prove that the little Nacho can beat him down. And as Jamin goes to leave, Jay attacks him and leaves him laying. The first Nightmare Cup match of the night is the team of Eddie Diamond and Timmy Danger. Danger's wanting to prove his worth to Eddie Diamond. They beat the team of Dylan Bostic and Yaden Matthews. Now, even though they got the win, Timmy Danger didn't look like much of a winner after the match because Bostic and Yaden continued beating him down. That's why they got disqualified, and how Diamond and Danger came away with the win. But they advanced in the Nightmare Cup. The following matches for the television title, Flash Flanagan was able to defeat Rob Terry. Of course, the numbers game came into play with the Marauders. And Flash ended up using the kendo stick to chop Rob down and get the victory. Then Shiloh said that they weren't done yet, and him and Joe Coleman teamed up to face the Mobile Homers in another Nightmare Cup match, which they won. So they are also advancing in the Nightmare Cup. And I would like to throw in a side note. Joe Coleman, Wednesday through Friday of this week, I'm talking the 28th through the 30th, depending on when you're watching this, is having a 3-day tryout down in WWE's Performance Center in Orlando, which I tweeted out to him. I would say good luck, but he doesn't need it because obviously he's trained by the best between Rip Rogers and Trailer Park Trash and everybody at OVW. So I know he'll do a great job, and wish him the best as far as if he gets a contract offer or not on that. So in the back, Jesse Goddard is about to step into a running shower with an electrical light and he had a sign on the bathroom door that says "Do not unplug." Which Rudy follows the wire into the bathroom and finds Jesse standing there about ready to end it all because he can't take it anymore being in the bunny costume and the fact that he's lost to Dean Hill. And Rudy's about to walk out, and as he gets to the door, he kind of takes a deep breath and turns around and says, "Maybe I can help you." He goes, "How about we team together again once again?" And Jesse accepts the offer, and that was the main event later on. They had a segment first week of Miss OVW. They asked some of the Femme Fatales questions about what their best attribute was or what celebrity they would compare themselves to. The segment ends up breaking down. The Blossoms start arguing. Taylor tries to take over the mic. Then Lady Tapa says she's the queen. And then in the end, Lady Tapa tries to deliver a big boot to Trina, which Trina moves and delivers a big knockout forearm to Tapa, which lays her out for the second week in a row. Rudy helps Jesse Goddard win in the main event. They successfully defeat the VIP Club, VIP Joe Rosa and Roberto De Luna. So it looks like the best team ever is back together, and Rudy had to drag Jesse through the right curtain because Jesse was so used to going through the one, so it looks like he's going to start getting some cheers from the fans. And that was the big thing of last week's episode. For the rest of the results, more details, the dark matches, of course, you can go to the website, ovwmania.blogspot.com. There I've also got, of course, the top 20, any other breaking news. I've also got a poll up right now if you'd like to go there and vote on who you think will win this OVW. I've got all, I think there's like 9 Femme Fatales that are all involved in this thing. You can vote on who you think's going to win. I'd like to thank the guys at Triple Threat Talk, as well as referee Chris Sharp, and even still Terry Bodie, though he's not there right now, for helping retweet and share all my news and results. As far as events coming up, don't forget that this Sunday, September 1st, I believe, is the next Old School show. Superstar legend Bill Dundee will be there, and Cliff Compton also tweeted saying he will be back there again this Sunday. September 7th is the next Saturday Night Special that's coming right around the corner. Don't forget, you can view the Old Schools and Saturday Night Specials on demand through www.live.com. OVW also has a link up on their site now. If you look at the top of the page, it says like news, roster, events, and then the very last one says on demand. You can click there and purchase the shows to watch online through there as well now too. Don't forget you can watch OVW TV online on blip.tv or through ovwrestling.com. It's on WBNA Ion 21 Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock p.m. following WWE main event, and usually, of course, it's on Saturdays at noon on WBNA Ion 21. However, the next couple Saturdays, if you tune in at 12, you're not going to find it. WBNA is showing some live college football games, so OVW on Saturdays for the next couple weeks is moving to 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you like watching it on TV over the computer, if that's your only option, if you don't have a good running computer to be able to view the shows through the website, make sure you tune in early, or make sure you set your VCR or DVR or whatever other 3-letter recording device you have, to make sure that you don't miss the action of Ohio Valley Wrestling. Tried getting through this pretty quick this week. It's been a busy week, and had a lot to do. So, like I said, I'm actually recording this on Tuesday night, the 27th of August, and wanted to get through it all. So there was no breaks or anything this week. But I think I've got most of it covered. And until next week, have a great week, and we'll talk to you about 732 and let's see. Yeah, we will. It'll be the last episode. Well, no, there will be 2 more. There'll be 732 tomorrow, and then 733 the following week before the Saturday night special. So next week we'll just be talking about 732, and then the week after we will be talking about both 733 and the Saturday night special. So that's it. Back to the studio, and I'll see y'all next week.
I loved hearing that. I think Joe is a fantastic talent. I think he deserves to get this chance.
This is late for me. This is way too late.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree.
He should have got this earlier.
I agree. You know, I love OVW. Oh, the people that I've met there, I love the Superstar. You know, I love the organization. But once this Florida Performance Center gets up and running, OVW is going to really struggle, because that's where it's going to be. I mean, nothing to take away from them. They have a great training facility, nothing to take away from them, but you can't compete with money. You just can't. And W has more money than anybody in wrestling anyway. So they're going to get the highest equipment possible. They're going to get the best equipment they can for this performance center to get people ready to go. And it's what it is.
And I know FCW's got to be a little worried too, because they might not be using FCW.
Well, they're going to set. That's how they're going to train them in the performance center. They're going to send them to FCW. That's how it's going to transition.
It all is a stepping stone.
To show you how much money they have, there was an interview with Triple H a while back, and people always ask about a physical Hall of Fame. He said he doesn't want just some, cheesy Hall of Fame with oh, look at those guys' trunks. He wants like an interactive exhibit where you walk in and you see like a 4D image of Andre the Giant. He talks to you like, what in the world? Like, where are they getting this kind of technology? It's crazy.
They have the money. Trust me.
We can rebuild him.
Steve Austin was not. No. That was going nowhere fast.
Speaking of WWE, before we get to that, we want to thank Brian Cannon for his outstanding insight.
Thanks, Brian.
For your OVW coverage, and of course, we always want to spend our special
Christina
thanks
McHale.
To she didn't do anything.
To Terry and Cheryl Bodie for their efforts with the website and everything that they do. And
our timer's gone.
Yeah, our timer's gone, but we're good on there. So with that, we'll move on to WWE coverage. So this week, we pick up. We start the show with Triple H deciding, you know what? I'm gonna give my good pal Randy Orton a nice brand new Escalade.
It's a new car.
What do we have for him, Randy? A new car.
Yay! You're the worst Price is Right contestant ever.
But it wasn't very new for long.
No.
So Daniel Bryan got a little confused and thought it was Halloween.
His 2013 Escalade turned into a 2013 Yescalade.
Yescalade, as the word yes was all over it.
It was painted orange and black, and it kind of looked like Halloween.
I think Taz's a little jealous.
So the Bengals, it was a Bengal.
It was a Tazmobile.
Yeah, it could be. So earlier in the night, Triple H had decided that, Daniel Bryan, you're going to face
the gauntlet.
The gauntlet. You're going to face
the Shield.
The Shield.
The Shield is just the gauntlet now.
Yeah, from now on, the Shield is the gauntlet.
The Shield is known as the gauntlet.
And if any superstar speaks out about what the new regime is doing,
or looks at it wrong,
or looks at it wrong way, or even says anything wrong, then they'll all be fired or punished. Mm-hmm. So, just like the doc said earlier, welcome Stone Cold 2.0.
The regime is happening.
But I will say one of the biggest flaws from Monday. I know Monday was good, and we'll get into it here. But the fact that the Big Show did not interfere.
I know where you're going. People, I think, forgot about that.
Well, most people probably didn't forget about it because the internet was a buzz about it.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
And what I'm talking about, if you don't remember, is that if you remember late last year, I think maybe even earlier this year, there was a storyline involving the Big Show and John Laurinaitis, where he signed an ironclad contract. And that he could do whatever he wanted to do and not get fired. Okay, so why didn't he do anything on Monday? I know.
Fearful.
It was scripted for him not to do anything. Oh no! Breaking news here. Yeah. But I'm like the doc. I don't think they should take this too far. I agree they could take it to Night of Champions, but I think it might need to end not too long after that.
Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity while Cena's injured to really, it's possible build up Daniel Bryan even more.
It's hard. That'd be hard to build him up more. He's already ginormously up there, pretty high. So, and then AJ Lee was probably one of the best Divas promos.
Grab the fire extinguisher. The Divas got burned.
Yeah, really. That was one of the best Divas promos I've seen in the last couple of years. And the reason it was so good, it was similar to. It wasn't. I don't think it was as good, but it was very good. It was similar to the CM Punk promo because she was telling the truth. I like the Divas. I think they're very talented, and I think they, obviously work hard to win the game. But she wasn't lying. Again, I like half the fun. I think Trinity's got a strong head on her shoulders. I think she's going to be fantastic. So I think Ariana doesn't deserve to be there. I really don't. I think, you look at her. She was in Tough Enough. She was eliminated first, and not many people think of this, but she was the first person eliminated from Tough Enough. No one else from Tough Enough is in the WWE. Nobody. No one from Tough Enough is there except for her, and she was eliminated first. So
it's weird how that works.
AJ was speaking the truth, and it was very good. I was surprised because it shows how good AJ is. I mean, that promo was fantastic. It got rave reviews on Twitter. They got reviews from everyone in the back, and the officials. They really raved about that promo.
I agree.
Anything else from Raw that catch your eye?
The promo.
Of course.
The Wyatt family.
Follow the buzzards.
That is awesome.
And don't forget, making making $1 million moves.
Yep, they won again. They beat the Real Americans. No surprise there.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Another promo that was fantastic. Paul Heyman and Punk was really...
That was good. Even though everybody was chanting boring during it.
I don't know why. It was really... Paul Heyman, again, he was saying truthful things. I fought for you. I loved you like a son. Go watch the CM Punk Best of DVD. It's on Netflix, or you can just go watch it. Paul Heyman really fights for him. Punk was pretty much gone. It was up to Heyman. Heyman was saying, this kid's going to be something big. Don't cut him. Don't let him go. And Heyman really fought for him. So that was a lot of truthful stuff that happened in the ring. So it was good stuff.
Yep, definitely good stuff. So good stuff from Raw, as always, building up for Night of Champions.
A couple weeks.
You got Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. You got CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman in a 1-on-2 handicap match.
Where we would probably see Brock Lesnar.
Looks like Alberto Del Rio versus RVD for the World Heavyweight title. The U.S. title, we don't really know yet. I imagine Big Show and Mark Henry will take on the Shield for the tag titles. And AJ Lee will probably fight
someone to tell Divas.
Yeah.
Maybe Natalya.
Probably.
That'd be the best bet because she's going to
something like that. We'll just have to see how Night of Champions plays out. So with that wraps up wrestling this week. And with that, do we have any wild cards this week's show?
Wild card?
Just saying, my grandmother passed away this week, and we pray every night, and we miss you already, Grandma. Love you.
This weekend, I'm actually headed out of town. I am going to Owensboro, Kentucky. You're thinking Owensboro, Kentucky?
The borough.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to the Big O Music Fest.
Big O.
Yes.
You mean the guy from Zack Ryder's YouTube show? The Big O?
No, not the same one. The Big O Music Festival in Owensboro, Kentucky. It is a all-day festival on Saturday, and it features Justin Moore, Jake Owen, Love and Theft, and many more. So good stuff.
Wild card real quick. Madden 25 came out this past week, and I actually did purchase it. It looks great. It plays great. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of the features and seeing how the game plays. So that's my wild card. Any of the week.
I think we all agreed that the New York Jets
signing
Graham Harrell are clearly this week's Idiot of the Week. So the New York Jets, you're this week's episode 113 Idiot of the Week.
Good show as always, and of course if you want to like us on Facebook, please click that like button and turn that thumbs up to a check mark at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter, as so many have, including Shimmer Wrestling is a huge wrestling promotion that features a lot of women's wrestling, so they follow us recently. Do the same and go to Triple Threat Talk on Twitter.
Sign Christina McHale.
Send any question or comment.
He's a tennis player.
Send any comment or question, and of course your blogs at Triple Threat Talk at yahoo.com. Of course, thanks to Terry and Cheryl Bodie for
Terrell
Squire. Yeah, Thanks to Terry and Showboy for our fabulous website, triplethreattalk.com. This is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones saying, let's go Cardinals game 1 this Sunday against Ohio.
This is Garrett the Dr. Lockard saying, let's go Cats, and call me Christina McHale. Let's do lunch. Let's get together.
This is Big B signing off, and I'm gonna float away. See you next week.
Woohoo! We're out of here.